Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am sitting down to talk to you guys about my uterine lining check, the results, and I'm also going to be doing a Q&A uterine lining check. If you're clicking on this video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it is for IVF. I am in waiting for my embryo transfer. I'm very, very close, so that is part of the IVF cycle, is to check the uterine lining to make sure that it is optimal for the embryo to essentially stick. So first of all, okay, so yesterday, Larry and I went to Universal right after the appointment, which is what we did last time for our first round of IVF that didn't really go through correctly. I'll leave that video at the end of this video if you guys would like to check that out. So that was kind of rescheduled. I had to start a period and we're starting fresh. So I have been on birth control for a while. I ended that on the 31st of October. And then I started my estrogen medication called Estrace. So I've been on that for a while, and then I went in for my check yesterday and I got the phone call that I did not pass my lining check, which was disappointing because that means pretty much everything gets pushed back, which is fine. I mean, I would rather it be optimal and at the millimeters that they want it rather than transfer the embryo, and I'm not ready for it. So I'm just not ready for the embryo, which is sad. So instead of having my check be positive yesterday, I had wrote on my Instagram and I was more so thinking it was going to be great. I was going to pass like I did last time. I passed my lining check on the first appointment last time. This time I did not. So essentially, instead of having my embryo transfer November 23rd, everything gets pushed back. So November 23rd is my next lining check. What that means is I now have to increase my estrogen intake. This might be TMI for some of you. I'm sorry if it is, but I'm just gonna be real about what I have to do. So I was taking my estrogen 3 times a day by mouth. I now have to do that plus insert 2 pills vaginally. So 2 estrogen pills vaginally are being included in that regimen. So I'll be taking 5 doses of estrogen in total daily, which is intense. So the doctor did say that they usually want your uterine lining thickness to measure at 8 millimeters. Mine was measuring between 6 and 7, so I wasn't quite there yet. But what was different this time is they only took about 4 or 5 measurements of my uterine lining, and my first uterine lining check, they took like 15. They took so many more, and some of those were 6 or 7. Some of them were over 8. None of mine this time were over 8, but she didn't take as many. I don't know. I'm just overthinking it. That is one thing in this journey. When you're in it for a while, you start overthinking everything, and you just can't. I just try not to do that and just have all my faith and trust in the doctors and my medical team, and that's all you can really do. But of course, advocate for yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. After my last embryo transfer that went very, very wrong and took 2.5 hours, and it didn't happen in the end, and it was awful. But that embryo was safe, and we also have 1 other embryo, so we have 2, which is great news. So basically, yeah, that's kind of what happened yesterday. I was really disappointed. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was like, it'll be fine, because my other measurements were low like that too, but I did have some over 8. So how did I feel about it? Sad. I was like, oh, like after the phone call, my heart felt kind of like broken, and I was almost going to cry at Universal. I'm like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Of course you can cry, please cry. But I was just trying not to because there's so many people, and I'm like, I don't want all these people to walk by and I'm in the corner at Universal crying with Larry. So I got myself calmed down. I'm like, it's not the end of the world. Is it disappointing? Of course, but that just makes it all so much more special. You know, I started visualizing, you know, one day, hopefully Larry and I will be walking our little one around Universal Studios, and I was trying to switch my thoughts around from being disappointed that it's not going to be next week to, you know, I have something else to look forward to. I have another goal to meet. I try to do it that way. But I did ask you guys to ask me questions. Now, I will say with this Q&A, I'm kind of focusing it on right now, like what's happening right now. I did get a lot of post-embryo transfer questions and embryo transfer questions. What I'm going to do is when I have the actual embryo transfer and that transfer is complete, like done, and I go home, I'm gonna film the experience, and I'm gonna film a video on embryo transfer, a Q&A. So I'm gonna have you guys ask me questions again about that. and then in that 2-week waiting period of when we get the results. So there's questions that I'm not quite ready to answer yet, and I don't want to jump ahead because we're not there yet. So some of these questions I am going to answer. I did pick the most popular. So get yourself some coffee, teas, snacks, and we're just going to talk about it. So the first question is, what is a uterine lining check? So a uterine lining check is when they go in and they check the thickness of your uterus. It's actually called the endometrium, to be exact. If it's too thin, it's not ready to, I'm going to put this really bland or blunt, or I don't know, not in the way that the doctor would explain it. So the way that I understand it is, if it's too thin, you're not ready for an embryo. If it's too thick, you're ready to start your period. So there has to be that perfect middle of the uterine lining thickness where the embryo can implant itself safely and all is well. So too thin, no good. Middle, yay. Too thick, you done past it. Time for you to start a period, essentially. So again, don't quote me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just putting it in terms that is the easiest and that I understand too. Okay, next, I'm starting my IVF journey as a single mom. What can I expect not having a partner to help me? First of all, you are so brave and so incredible, and I'm so happy and proud of you. And what to expect. I will say it's hard for me to say because I do have Larry, but I can kind of put some sort of insight in with that because I am experiencing all of my appointments alone. Larry's not allowed to go inside with me, but I do have him here for support. So what I would say is expect a lot of doctor's appointments. Some of the shots are, I preferred to do my shots alone when I was doing my egg retrieval preparation. But when it came to this stage, it's easier to have somebody give it to you in the butt. So if you have a friend or somebody that you trust really well to do some of your shots, if you're uncomfortable with doing them, that would be great. If not, you can totally do it. Research, ask lots of questions. My advice too is to have your questions written down before you go in. And there's also lots of support groups. A lot of you guys have been telling me about groups on Facebook and stuff like that. So definitely reach out so that you have other people to talk to. And of course, here on my videos, please feel free to leave comments down below and be prepared for lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of changes. Like, things are constantly changing in this journey. You know, in my head, I was fully set to have my uterine lining check be a positive and have my embryo transfer November 23rd, 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I had that all in my head, and that's completely changed now and everything's backed up. So just expect lots of changes and try to do your best to remain positive. It's very difficult to do. There's lots of upsets, but you can do it. You'll do great. So congratulations on starting your IVF journey, and definitely keep me updated. I'm so excited for you. Next is, will they be doing anything different to make sure you go through less pain this time? So that was quite a journey. The only thing that they're going to do differently is provide me with, I always say it wrong, Valium. Yes, volume is the TV, Valium is the medication to kind of relax me a little bit. Last time was obviously very traumatic. It should be a really simple procedure. An embryo transfer should take 10 minutes, in and out, no problems. Mine took 2.5 hours of excruciating pain, and we didn't get anywhere with it. So that's the only thing. They're just giving me something to kind of keep me chill, relax, so I don't go into panic. Plus, I don't want my body to panic. I want my body to be happy, excited, and calm to receive an embryo. You know, it's very important that you try to stay calm and not stress and not get anxious. And I know that. And it's so difficult though. I know with a lot of you with anxiety or just stressors, when people are like, just, you have to stay calm. You have to stay calm. It's like, great. I know that, but it's not working. Like, I'm trying. I know that I need to, but anyways, I'm going off tangent there. But yes, they are giving me Valium. But besides that, no. And I'm also having my normal doctor who has been with me the entire time, but technically I've only seen him in real life at appointments 3 times now. But besides that, that was it. But yeah, I'm excited to have him. He did my mock embryo transfer a couple weeks ago, and it went very smooth. He was able to get way deep, way past the point where they need to be. He got all the way to the end of my uterus with no problem. I had mild cramping, which is to be expected, but nothing like I was experiencing in that last appointment. But yeah, that's the only difference. You have less confidence in your fertility team after the last failed IVF procedure. I wouldn't say less confidence in the team, possibly the doctor that performed it. But then again, maybe he was having an off day. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt. Is that the right term? I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to blame him. I don't want to lose faith and have less confidence in people. I just think that he was having an off day. Maybe there was a blockage or something blocking my uterus that day. You know, maybe it was my body. I don't know, but this journey, you can't lose faith like that. You can't, because there are so many ups and downs and so many changes, and it doesn't happen the first time, and it doesn't happen overnight. And that was one of the things that I really had to realize was with my first failed IUIs. I just assumed, and it was very naive thinking. And of course, when I'm a positive thinker too, I just thought, yay, I'm going to be pregnant. And it's been almost a year later, you know, come January will be a year since the first IUI procedure. And we started these conversations with my doctor in June of 2020. So it's been a year and a half with conversations and stuff like that. So I haven't quite lost confidence with them yet. I'm just trying to stay positive and understand that it is a long journey. And if you're going through the journey or you are about to go through this journey, it's a long one. Some of us are lucky. Some of us get pregnant the very first time, and that is really great and that's awesome. But some of us, it takes a little bit longer. You know, I'm not even in it for the longest stretch. There's women who have been going through this for 10 years and so on and so on. So, but yeah, I don't want to lose confidence. I haven't lost confidence. I don't think I want to see that doctor again. I don't want to have that doctor again. I feel bad saying that, but that's truly how I feel. And I will now be with my doctor, and they're pairing up my schedule with his schedule. So, which I'm nervous about now because my schedule was paired up with his schedule before, and now we've moved it. So hopefully they'll keep me with it. Oh my gosh, guys, that's the other thing. I also have a new nurse as of 2 days ago, or 2 appointments ago, which stresses me out. And I know it shouldn't, but I have been working with my nurse since January, since the first IUI procedure. And we got to know each other really well, and I was confident in her, and I now have a new nurse. So that's kind of stressful. I've asked some questions and I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that is stressful. I totally couldn't imagine having your OBGYN through your entire pregnancy, and then when you're giving birth, your doctor's not there and having to have a different doctor. Now that's a whole different stress level. But yeah, haven't lost confidence, just there's ups and downs, nervous here and there, but we'll get through it. And one day, hopefully we'll have a positive test. I cannot wait. Are you choosing the gender of the embryo being transferred? No. Technically, the answer to that question is no. We have answered that before, but that was another really popular question. Are you nervous to start progesterone in oil again? So if you don't know what that is, once you pass your uterine lining check, you have to start your progesterone and oil injections. It's a thick, it's a thick injection, honey. It's thick. And then the needle is really long. It's like this big, and it goes right into your butt, into your upper outer cheek. And luckily I have Larry to help me with that. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. In general, I don't like needles. I hate needles. I get clammy in the hands, but again, that is something that you definitely have to get used to with this journey. Every time I go into the fertility clinic, which is a lot, there's a lot of appointments, you get blood draws, you get poked constantly, and you get probed up the vagina a lot also. I'm sorry about the lighting going in and out. We're in Florida and it is sunny outside, and there's also clouds, so it's going in and out. It's just something that you get used to, but yeah, at home, having the injections every single night. And I'm pretty sure if you're lucky and fortunate enough to get a positive pregnancy, you continue those injections for the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. I think it might be 10 to 12, it depends. So it's a long time. And I've watched several IVF journey videos, of course, and positive pregnancies and all of that to keep me going. And I've researched a lot. And there were a lot of girls that were so excited to be done with the shots, and I totally could imagine. And a lot of them had like lumps on their butt and soreness for a long time, and some of them had like numbness after the shot. So yeah, I'm definitely nervous. I started them, I think I did it for a total of 5 days, and my butt was already starting to get sore. And then I had to discontinue and start a period starting medication, which was really heartbreaking and really sad. But again, we're past that and moving forward now. But yeah, I'm definitely nervous, but I'm also excited because as much as I don't like it and I don't want it, it is so essential to keeping your embryo going strong. And we kind of need that. We definitely need that hormone to help us keep the embryo strong. So it's all for the embryo. It's all for the cause. So we'll get it done. When will you find out if you're pregnant? So great question. A lot of you guys are asking about dates and when the transfer will be. That is now up in the air. So let me pull up my calendar. I can tell you that November 23rd is my uterine lining check. So let's just look at that here. If I pass that uterine lining check, my embryo transfer would be around November 29th, November 30th. But again, those are all tentative dates because I have to pass a check. And I'm going to be so disappointed if they tell me I'm too far and we have to cancel and I have to do another period and another, I will be, okay, let's not go down that road. See, this is exactly what happens when you go through this journey. You start looking way too far ahead and you just have to take it day by day by day and try to stay positive and calm and not freak out like I just started to do. Totally valid though, and you're totally allowed to freak out if you want to. Just saying, let yourself feel your feels. So essentially, I'll be finding out during Vlogmas, which is the happiest time of the year, which would be so exciting if it's positive. If it's not, we'll go down that road when we get there together. Thank you for all of your support, by the way. You guys have really helped me get through this, and it has been, I may not show it at times in the vlogs, but it is so, it's tiring, it's difficult, it's hard, it's emotionally draining. It's definitely something that I didn't really, I wasn't prepared for all of the actual feels and the emotions and everything. So your guys' support has been incredible. My family's support has been incredible. A lot of you guys were also asking another popular question, but I did already answer it in the last video that I did with a Q&A with this, was how has your mom and your family been handling it? Because it was really hard on your family when you went through IVF, and definitely hard on my family too. Like every time I get my hopes up, their hopes are up. You know what I'm saying? So when we had that last embryo transfer day, we were all so excited. And even with this lining check, all of us were really excited, and then I have to call and say, you know, give the negative news or the bad news or the delayed news, and it's a lot for everybody. And I know that you guys are just as much as emotionally invested with us. You know, I know it's upsetting for you guys when I get a negative. I've seen the messages and I've seen the comments, and just, it blows my mind that you guys care, and it means the world to me that you guys care, and it's, all the support is very much loved, needed, and very thankful for it. So again, thank you in advance for everything that you guys have done for us. Okay, this next question is a good one. It's, our transfer is next Tuesday. I can't decide to share with friends and family or not. What are your thoughts? I totally understand, because I battled that with like, should I share? Should I wait to share? Should I share? Especially online. And I'm like, how am I going to not share that? I've been very open with my very closest friends and my parents. So I think it's a big personal preference. It's between you and your partner. If you decide that you want to share, definitely share. Let them in the loop. If you're nervous to share, then don't. Like, if you have your reasons that you don't want to share, you do not have to share. I find it easier. How do I want to say this? Whatever comes to my mind, I essentially say. Not all the time. Sometimes you have to have a filter. But in general, like, I tell people what's going on in my life, and I've been very open on YouTube about what's going on. And you know, I don't struggle with telling friends and family, but to share online, yeah, I struggled with that for a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I've been so open this entire time, and I really don't see how I could keep that under wraps, especially during Vlogmas. So we're just going to be going through this in real time. It does make me nervous to share in real time, because what if I, you know, announce and then something happens? But that's also part of life, and I would be opening to sharing that journey as well with you guys. But for you, I would say it's totally a personal preference. It's whatever you are comfortable with. Don't worry about you know, just because another part of the reason I started panicking, thinking, well, no other YouTuber shares right in that moment with their viewers. They wait 3 months, you know what I mean? And I'm like, is it wrong that I'm sharing so far in advance? And I don't think there's really a wrong or a right. I think it's a personal preference and it's whatever you are comfortable with. So that would be my advice to you. Whatever you think is right, whatever you are comfortable with, that's what you decide. And I wish you the very best with your transfer. I'm very, very excited for you and happy for you. Are you going to have the same IVF medications and protocols this time around or something different? Pretty much everything is the same except for now I have an increase of estrogen, and then I'll be taking Valium to help me relax on the day of the procedure. All right, guys, so that's all of the questions and all of the updates that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for your love, your support. Thank you so much for watching. And please leave comments down below if you're going through this journey. Leave your recommendations below, leave your thoughts down below. It's really helpful to me and helpful to everybody else that is going through this journey. So thank you for everything. Love you guys very much, and I'll keep you updated, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.